Welcome to the Maven Marketing Podcast. Today is Maven Monday. I'm your host, Brandon Welch, and I'm joined by Caleb, the Meeting Master AG.
The Meeting Master.
He is master of the meeting.
You know, I feel like some of these middle names you give me are not my favorite, but I like that one.
Caleb,
I'm gonna claim
AG.
it. just start tearing me down.
Yeah.
Like, Caleb, you need to take a shower, AG.
Hey, don't tempt me. This is Caleb Age's technology. We're just living in it today. This is titled How to Improve Company Culture with Better Team Meetings. Scratch that. We changed that title for Do This in Your Team Meetings and Everything Will Get Better.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, both are true. But this is more than just culture. This is, if you are running team meetings, and I hope that you are, to some sort of predictable frequency,
rhythm, sequence.
I think the challenge is that we get caught in mundane, and we get in going through the motions. But this process we're going to share with you today, I would venture to say, like, all good things at Frank and Maven have come from this format. And we've been doing it for 10 years without missing a beat. I used to say 9.5, but we started doing this about 6 months after we started the company.
Yeah.
And that would have been about 10.5 years ago.
Yeah.
So.
Early on, I'll say I noticed a difference. And Brandon and I remember a specific conversation we had, 10 years ago where I noticed a difference in our week. We had a small team, 3, maybe 4 people. I don't remember at the exact time, but
yes.
There was a difference between a week we had a meeting and we came together on Monday morning and a week when we didn't. Because there was some reason, there's a client thing we had to go to on Monday morning
Something
or whatever it was, and we hadn't set that time aside, and it was, okay, I guess we'll just miss the meeting this week. Those weeks just felt off. Something felt disconnected, and so we came together and said, we will always have a Monday morning staff meeting every week without fail.
Yes.
And
we protected that time.
Yes.
And Monday morning is a hard time to protect because everybody wakes up, right? And so it's worth protecting. It is the most constant thing we do here at FM.
And we're not
besides this podcast.
We wouldn't necessarily say you have to do it at that time every week. We're just telling you it's worked really well for us, and you do need to come together with your team on some sort of regular frequency. Yeah. But this is the main part of this thing is how we come together. What we talk about. So
before we get started, this episode is brought to you by the dishwasher's full, which is why I'm drinking out of a Seth Meyers cup. I do not endorse Seth Meyers or the late night show. Not my favorite.
Not your favorite.
It does keep coffee.
It holds coffee.
Relatively.
Keeps it from spilling all over your shirt.
Yeah, relatively warm. So
that's all you ask of these things.
Okay, this is a 7-part strategy, 7-part flow. You can borrow this. By the way, I'm going to link to an actual copy of our meeting template. Mm-hmm. That's giving away some serious technology.
Yeah, we'll have it locked up, so you'll have to go. It'll be like a Google Drive.
You'll have to copy.
So you have to go like file, make a copy.
Yeah.
Put it in your drive and then edit it from there.
Which will be able to see our slides. And then I did a more direct run through of that actual format and just kind of noted, why we do every section the way we do. So you can actually have our template if you click in the YouTube comments. Actually, what you want to do instead is you want to email Maven Monday at frankandmaven.com if you want the template. Mm-hmm. And then if we look and see that you've liked the podcast.
Oh, I like what you're doing here.
Yeah, see what I did? Uh-huh. See what I did? Like the podcast, email us at Maven Monday.
Just help us out a little bit.
We'll give you the template.
Yes.
There's some companies that are using this that are like, wow, this was a game changer for us. So anyway, one of those things we learned. Part 1, when you set a team meeting, this is going to be, I think, counterintuitive to a lot of really high-performing businesses, actually. Mm-hmm. Number 1 is you want to actually slow down. And we think, okay, it's business. Everybody's in this room. It's expensive. Let's start talking about business. Mm-hmm. And you can do that. And you would, engage exactly 0 people from where they actually are. But Peter Drucker is famous for saying, culture eats strategy for breakfast. And so I think we all know that this idea of culture drives everything forward. It improves retention, improves profitability. When you have good company culture, people want to be there. They want to work. They get excited about the work. Well, so we know culture is a thing, but what is the driver behind culture? One of the most predictable drivers of culture is ritual.
Mhm.
What do you do often? What do you celebrate often? What do you rally around and do the same thing over and over? Rituals define how we roll. That is culture in action. Gallup recently studied that organizations with strong rituals and shared values are 3.5 times more likely to have high employee engagement. Gallup also studied that over 80% of companies right now, over 80% are struggling from low to no engagement. So only 1 out of 5 employees in your organization on average are engaged. And we think that sucks. And so one way to improve it for sure is to have better rituals. And so we do these things ritualistically not because we want to force or like manipulate some psychological result, not because we want to have some cookie cutter thing that's just easy to do. We do it because it's a reflection of who we are and our heart as leaders.
Yeah.
And so that's number one is rituals.
We're
going to talk to you about the ones we do, but have a ritual. It can be your own weird thing. We're going to suggest our first one is our favorite one, and Caleb's going to tell you about that one.
Yeah. So the way we always start our meetings is with personal wins. So we'll sit down. I think our catchphrase is "Who's got to win?" And we have a little slide deck. We mentioned that you can download it, but we throw it on the screen and it says, "Personal win can't be about work."
Yeah. How'd you win in the last 7 days, Nate, the camera guy?
Yep. In the last 7 days, what's something good? And so what are we doing here? We're talking about people first, not necessarily the work. And I think that sets a mental thing. Also, everybody after the weekend, ours is on Monday morning at 9 a.m. After the weekend, everybody does want to catch up on what'd you do? How was your week? What's going on? And this is our time to do that together. Everybody gets to hear it. And it's a really, really good time. And then we have this can't be about work piece.
Yeah.
And people will catch you. They'll be like, oh, well, I had this good thing that happened and it was kind of a work thing. And they'll be like, oh, nope, it needs to be completely personal.
Yep.
And so
what that ends up being is it could be anything from like, I saw my nephew this weekend, or we went on a special date night, to, wow, I got a really good day of rest or something. And just what happens when people share their things is that they become champions for each other's things. And that is a way stronger thing that you could ever set as a goal in your company or some sort of KPI.
I'll tell you, this can be the longest part of the meeting if we let it be. Yeah. And that's totally fine. I think about, there's a really good book called The Miracle Morning. Talks about how you personally can set up, I'm sidetracking for 2 seconds.
Yes.
You can set up your morning. And he has just basically a formula, how you start your day. And I don't follow it to a T anymore, but I've adapted from where it started, and I have a lot of friends that helps you kind of get in line. He talks about, well, this would take an hour. The beginning of the book, he says, wake up an hour earlier. This is going to take you an hour. He said, but there are ways to do it a lot faster. And I'll say with this could take 20 minutes. I don't know how big your team is, but sometimes we're in a hurry and we've got a meeting. We do have something that we need to hustle. We'll say 60-second wins, you know, and we don't do that every time. That is an exception, not the norm, but there's a way to do that.
Sometimes we do have to hustle. One other thing we put in here, it's the section that can be right after the personal wins. We're almost always doing some sort of a challenge around here. And that is a very, people don't want a job, they want a life. And the degree to which your job reinforces the life that everybody wants and celebrates it, and not as a check the box, not as a carrot, but just as a literal thing, as a reflection of your company and how you value people. The degree to which you do that is the degree to which work doesn't feel like work, I think. And I would say that from me as a leader all the way down. I don't come in these 4 walls feeling like, gosh, I got to work now. I come into these 4 walls feeling like I have a team who wants to win. They want me to win. I want them to win. And what a cool thing. And so when you do personal challenges, every 100 days, a typical format for us is every 100 days, a team member has to pick a new goal. And it could be life or work, but it's usually more on the life side. We've had people pay off debt. We've had people who didn't think they could buy houses, literally buy houses and like get their financing in order and get that done in a 100-day period. We've had people turn their marriages around. We've had people lose weight. We've had people quit smoking. We've had people do just all sorts of amazing things. And I would highly recommend you as a leader to be leading some sort of challenge as a extra gesture of personal wins.
And to be clear, they come up with these things.
Oh, yeah.
It's who do you want to be? What do you want to have accomplished in 100 days? And everybody brings them. You as the leader, you have to set the tone and how deep these are going to be, how real they're going to be. But what happens is everybody shows up and they're like, oh, one year, mine was, read 3 books, read 4 books, read 5 books. And I was really trying to make myself a reader. And there was some element of reading in my 100-day goals for a whole year.
Yeah.
And it worked.
But I'm not going around saying, hey, Caleb, that shirt's hugging back a little. You sure you don't have any weight loss goals?
Yeah. It's like, no. Brandon, the smoking's probably not good for you.
Exactly.
You should quit. So
yeah, somebody's got a lot of cigarette butts in the apartment. By the way, that's not a thing around here. No. Nor is Caleb needing to lose any weight. So
I think they got it.
But I think they got the point, but just to make sure. So what you also want to do here is encourage dialogue. Don't be leading it. Don't be the one saying, well, how'd you win last week? It's a team dialogue, okay? And something magic happens when people are hearing themselves read back around their peers. And frankly, these are the people they spend more time with often than their family or any other person. And so I know if I set a goal for water, or if I set a goal for getting a good night's rest, my people kind of probably know, how successful I'm being at that. And there's just some built-in accountability in the healthiest of ways.
That's right.
We spent a lot of time on that one, but starting with personal wins, and then I interjected, as part of that, we do
challenges
that
on the regular.
Kind of force or heavily encourage people to win in new ways.
Yep. Teams that begin meetings with personal sharing see a 12% higher emotional commitment to their organization.
Wow.
I can't pronounce the
Nate, the camera guy, are you 12% more highly emotionally committed to your work? 13%, he says. That's even better.
Fine.
And then Gallup also said companies that emphasize human connection see a 21% greater profitability.
It's not why that's not the reason, but you'll see the result as well.
I don't have anything to compare it to because we've always done that. So I'd hate to think of what would be like.
What kind of profit? So if we didn't do this, I don't want to do
without 21%.
21% less profit.
Yeah. So, all right. Hey, number 3. So far, just real quick, we've talked about have rituals. 2, start with personal wins and challenges. Number 3 is unite around shared purpose. Caleb actually leads this slide, and if you download our template because you've emailed Maven Monday at frankandmaven.com and you've liked the podcast, you will see that there's a transition slide. So we go from this, what a lot of old school leaders might call fluffy stuff. We think it's just good heart stuff, and it's really just a
human stuff.
It's the way to lead a modern company. I think it's always been the way to lead a company. But anyway, we have a transition to go not out of that mode, but it's a stepping stone into business.
Yeah.
And so Caleb will say, hey, why are we here? Why are we here, Nate, the camera guy?
We're here to create a world where entrepreneurs can confidently grow their business without wasting money on advertising.
That's not on the sheet. He did not reherse that. Anybody in our team could say that.
We threw it at him.
Probably even John the intern could say it after being here today. Everybody say hi to John the intern. But we are making an intentional statement of why we're here. And it's like, okay, why did you, after all these personal, awesome things you're doing in your life, why did you choose to give us 40% of your waking time? Right?
Yeah. It's really a mental shift because the rest of the meeting, hint, is going to be about that shared purpose we have. Everything after this point, this is the pivot point in the whole morning meeting that we have. And we're saying everything after this point, yes, we are individuals doing our own things, and we've talked about that. Now we are a unit. We are a team. Yes. We are an organization that is bent on that mission, and everything we say after this is filtered through that.
Yes. I will say for us, that starts literally at our recruiting process. The people hear that from the first time they talk to us, maybe even the first time we go into our website. But they literally have seen that as a throughput, whether they've been here 5 days or 5 years. That is at the very, very least a weekly reminder. And so I will say this, people who don't believe in that have already been filtered out. People who don't get excited about growing family-owned companies are automatically filtered out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that we don't love them. It's just that they don't belong here.
Mm-hmm.
So that conviction, that reinforcement, and then very quickly transitioned in after we say that out loud, we go into, Caleb will say, how did we do that last week? Before he tells you about how we do that, I would like to highlight that according to a LinkedIn workplace report, employees who believe in their company's mission are 72% more engaged.
That's a lot.
That's almost double the engagement. Imagine walking into a business that got twice as much done just because you had a mission worth believing in and that you celebrated it and you demonstrated it.
Yeah.
So step number 3 is literally align and just state your purpose. Why are we here?
It's literally, that's the shortest part of any of these points.
Yeah.
It is, why are we here? They say it, and then we move on. If you don't have a concise and clear purpose, you've got some work to do.
Get yourself a copy of the Maven Marketer.
Yeah.
And read chapters 18, 19, and 20.
Yeah. Vision, values, and vows. That is our vision statement.
Yeah.
To create a world where entrepreneurs can confidently grow their business without wasting money on advertising.
So you're at danger if you just say this stuff out loud, of it becoming this fluffy thing that nobody actually believes in. So you want to do this next very important step, which is celebrate the ways you did that last week. Step number 4 is celebrate team wins.
Team wins. And so I send an email every single Friday. Early on, we were celebrating team wins, but what everybody would do is they kind of pull up their calendar on Monday morning and be like, what even happened last week? Because sleep erases it. It's hard to remember what happens by Monday morning. You don't remember what Friday was like. You certainly don't remember what last Monday was like. Yeah. So on Friday morning, I send out an email. It's also just a good time to connect with the team, try to encourage them or give them some sort of house updates, things that are going on. It's always fun, but at the end of it, I state some wins and say, what'd you see? And everybody replies. And so we get a little dose of gratitude and winning on Friday.
Yep.
And then we screenshot each one of those and put them it takes 4 minutes.
Yep.
We put each one of those in the slide deck and have them click through on Monday.
Yep. You're going to get, you're going to get really cool stuff. Like by the time Monday rolls around, you're like, oh, wow, we did do that last week. And even on a tough week, you're going to go, wow, you find your team celebrating each other. You find you as a leader and all the things you have to process, you find that naturally celebrating your team. Mm-hmm. It's the coolest thing.
It's really
cool. And it's not this big kumbaya thing. These are like real things. Like, hey, for us, it'd be like, oh, so-and-so's ad campaign was killing it this week. So-and-so had a record revenue. I'm going to tell you, if you're a client of Frank and Maven, what's very, very often on these wins is the stuff that we got to see you guys do.
Yeah.
We get just
it's not like that. I did this. It's my clients winning and they get to see the result of their work, which is really cool.
So you get more of what you reward. You get more of what you reward. And so what are you rewarding? What are you celebrating? If you're celebrating bad stuff, or if you're paying attention to always bad stuff, you're going to get more of the bad stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it's not that there's not a time to correct and clarify and realign with, better activities. Mm-hmm. But the research is that it takes 13 good interactions to overcome a bad interaction in terms of morale, engagement, buy-in, confidence. And so not trying to be a bunch of, everybody gets a participation trophy type thing here. No. But if you go looking for wins, you will find them, even in tough seasons.
There is good. And that's the thing is everybody needs to be encouraged. You need to be encouraged by this. And so it's good for you to see, I'm talking to you, leader, owner, whoever you are, you need to be encouraged, and it's good for you to see from the front lines what's going on, what's good, because gratitude changes the chemistry of your brain. You acknowledge what is good, and you don't get stuck in that pit of despair, which sounds like Princess Bride. The pit of despair.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a good
thinking.
quote. Yeah. You watch a lot of movies. So, the other thing we do in this section, when we're celebrating team wins, right after we go through everybody's, email that they sent. By the way, we make everybody say their own wins. Right. This is a good time for your team to speak out loud,
have a speaking part,
to practice. I think there are some offices where there are people who don't talk that often. You are giving them a chance to speak, and that actually is really powerful for your whole team.
Yeah.
But right after that, we have this ugly, I don't have it in the room with me. We have this ugly little moss ball for us. That was a piece of decor that we found on the coffee table.
Go get it, Nate, the camera guy.
Nate's going to run and
Nate's
grab
gonna
it.
go get it.
I think Nate has it right now.
Yeah, he does.
Actually,
he got it this
so
last
it's just
week.
sitting right on his desk
Yep.
like a trophy. He's got it propped up, So we take this thing and we acknowledge Nate has it right now. And on Monday, what he's going to do is I'm going to message him because I set up our Monday meeting. Be like, hey, you've got the rock. Who to this week? And
Yep.
then he's going to say Brandon.
Yeah, he
And
is.
and then, that's
He
what
wants-
he's going to say.
If he wants to keep his job, he
Yeah.
is.
And then I'll put Brandon's name in the slide. It's got like confetti shooting out. And then
It's
we
really
usually
wonderful.
take a moment where,
Makes the girl feel
here,
good.
throw it at us. There you go. Brandon's got it.
This is the Solid Rock Award.
Make sure I stop talking so it cuts over to you for a moment.
Oh
But
yeah, Solid Rock Award.
yes. So we pass that
job,
around.
Nate.
It Nate owns it right now, and then he'll make an announcement and say, last week I really saw Brandon showing up. He was helping people with stuff, and he was recording good podcasts, and he was growing businesses. So this week I'm giving the Solid Rock to Brandon, and he throws it to him, and everybody claps, and it's a great moment, and then we move on.
Yes. Yeah. So it's team wins objectively, and then one person passes it on to another person. It's good stuff, guys.
It's good.
Like, so imagine you do this every week. Okay. That's 52 meetings a week. That is 5% of your company's time. If you just do it for an hour,
Mhm.
5% of your company's time has now gone from haphazard to undeniably positive.
Mm-hmm.
That would probably 3 or 4x the amount of joy you have in your business right now.
Yeah.
Just by deciding to do it with a safety net without fail.
Some of you, your team members would be very surprised if you opened it with this much positivity.
Yeah. They'd be
Because
like, what's going on here?
Because if I can be frank with you, your meetings start off with a bunch of finger wagging and do this, don't do that. And your team
Mhm.
is trained that a team meeting is really just like a beatdown session
Mhm.
of what I'm doing or not doing right.
Or it's unproductive
and
because part of
it's-
it's not about them. You know?
And just like, we need to do this. You're kind of force feeding a lot of things. When you engage your team, this is actually true of any part of your business. When you engage your team and you make them a part of it, they have ownership and they own this meeting. It's
Yes.
a part of, we guide it, we facilitate it, but they own this meeting because they have talked 2 or 3 times by now.
Yeah.
And they're undeniably a part of it. It's not just some figurehead at the front of the room saying a bunch of words at them.
Yeah.
It is something they are involved in
Yep.
actively.
Yep.
Keep it going.
Companies that regularly celebrate wins experience 31% lower turnover and 14% higher productivity. Amazing. That's from the Tanner Institute. Okay. Step number 5, learn something new. This is probably more standard. I think more companies probably do this.
Mhm.
We do it in 10, 15-minute segments. And it's just something that would improve your craft or possibly even your life skills. I would say ours is probably 9 out of 10 times is probably something about copywriting
Mhm.
or media buying or ad strategy or client, just like
Client care, relationship.
care, yeah, and
Maybe
intelligence, yeah.
Could be, sometimes it's like a new process. So
Yeah.
we're training on a new tool or a new thing that everybody needs to learn.
Yeah.
And we actually don't spare anybody from what we learn. So Nate, the camera guy, does not write very much ad copy, but he writes ads when we do ad lessons in the Monday meeting.
Yes.
Everybody gets to learn. It's a little bit of cross training and it's just fun.
Yep. Better working together. And then Matthew Kelly, I love this. We kind of modeled a lot of our first part of the meeting, especially with the 100-day goals and things like that. We modeled that after this program called the Dream Manager.
Mhm.
You should just look it up. That's comes from a book called The Rhythm of Life. And Matthew Kelly said in that book, how can you expect someone to be strategic for your company if they don't know how to be strategic in their own life?
Read that one more time. Bring it
How
on.
can you expect somebody to be strategic for your company if they can't even be strategic about their own life? And it's not that we're a bunch of dum-dums that need a boss to tell us what to do. I have to say that about me. Like if I'm not strategic about my life, I can't lead this company, right? Because that would leave me without, growth in all the other areas, the health area, the relationship area, the friendships area. And so we are actively challenging each other, supporting each other, encouraging each other in those areas. And it's just like when those buckets are full, then suddenly the energy that people show up at the door with, myself and Caleb included, I promise you, we're the biggest benefactors of that.
Mm-hmm.
We have so much more to pour into our work. And isn't that what we all want? We want to have more energy to do better work so that we feel good about it. We know we're doing good, where we have lives of impact, which empower us on the Caleb's wonderful circle of
Extremism?
well, not a circle of
Oh,
extremism,
what are we
but
talking about?
you have a word for it. But it's, if you live, I'm going to quote Caleb Agee, and I'm going to butcher it, and he's going to correct it.
I don't know where he's going with this.
If you are present at work, then you can afford to be more present at home. If you're present at home, you can afford to be more present at work.
Yeah, I just call that the 100% rule.
100% rule.
That's a lot of marketing right there.
Yes.
But wherever you are, be there 100%.
And so, but we're encouraging at work, like, hey, Nate, how much water are you drinking? Like, and then what are the markers of your career success? And so when we're training in that, we're celebrating that, wonderful things happen. Speaking of success, step number 6 is
visualize success. What we do is, yes, we are going to talk about where the company is. For us, we'll put up our monthly financial numbers, how much our billing and receivables look like. And we're talking about our financial statement for the month and the quarter and the year on the regular, so that the team is aware of how we're doing. How else are they going to, this is a reality of business. We always say money isn't the mission. It's just a measure of the mission. But the reality is, without that money, without profitability, without cash flow, we don't have jobs. And so we have to come down to that reality and say, yes, we're serving. If you're worried about all the fluff we had at the beginning, there's still a reality of business here. We're not ignoring. And so that shows up. We also talk about big rocks. We have company goals for the quarter or for the year. We're just talking about, we've crossed off a couple of big rocks. We hired a Sydney around here, and we launched the Mastermind.
We sure did.
Which was one of our big rocks for the year.
Do you know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time to talk about the Mastermind.
Bring it on.
Hey, if you are a business that is struggling with marketing, or maybe you have really good results in marketing, or maybe they were really good and they're getting less really good, and you would like access to a team who spends millions and millions of dollars testing all the things, and you would just like to run your ideas past somebody, we have created the Maven Marketing Mastermind for you. It's where you get to join us twice a month, along with a handful of other business peers in service and retail industries, and just bounce your marketing ideas off of it. Like, hey, I'm having this sales problem, or hey, how could you make this better? Or what do you think about my landing page? Or should I invest in this? Or I got this proposal for, XYZ marketing plan, or love that we were talking about email marketing last week. Like, how do I engage my past customers? Any of that stuff. We've created the Maven Marketing Mastermind for you. It's basically like your own self-guided podcast where you get to access on the other side of these walls. We have a whole team of marketers growing companies all across the country, and they're doing a wonderful job of it. And it's not cheap to hire that team. It's not cheap to work with really, any agency of a high caliber, but for a very, 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 very low price. And right now, there's still entry-level membership pricing that you can lock in for life, $100 a month, and you get access to world-class team that, we have a book's worth of stuff of results we've pushed. Made happen, should say. Yeah.
This, the next call, if you want to sneak in, is this Wednesday. At 1 o'clock. Is that
1
right?
o'clock. Yep.
I believe that's the correct time.
Yes.
I need to get this
Central.
This is new Central time. Yes.
So
this is new for us. But
you just need to email. If you want to be a part of that, you can either go to mavenmethodtraining.com and sign up for yourself. Or if you want more information, you want to have a quick call about it, mavenmonday@frankandmaven.com. Email us about that. So, hey, that's going to be you visualizing your success. Last thing about the success part of our business is, so after we review big rocks, we look at our week ahead. Every company's got a season or a week that's just going to be bonkers. And this is our chance to go, okay, hey, that's going to be a really tough day. How are we going to plan for that? Does somebody need to come in a little early? Do we need to bring our lunch? Do we need to order lunch in?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, you might get your rest that evening. Like, just looking at where our ebbs and flows are going to be for the week. And then also it's a chance for team members to say, hey, I need some help here.
Mm-hmm.
Who can take this for me?
Yeah.
And then by the time we've got through our rituals, we've celebrated personal wins. We've translated that into company purpose. Then we've clarified how we were winning last week. We review how we're winning for the year, the quarter, and really just on the financial spectrum. We've learned something new together. Then it's time to end with our battle cry, and that is step 7. We have 6 company core values. Every company should have a handful that everybody knows, and they're simple. Name one of them, Nate the camera guy, just to keep me honest. We believe in filling one glass at a time.
Mm-hmm.
We believe marketers who can't teach you why are just a fancy lie. You heard that one here.
Yep.
We believe
in saying what needs to be said, even if you don't want to hear it.
Yep. We believe if we aren't growing you, we're using you.
We believe the best friendships are forged around fires and food.
Yeah. So there's 6 of them.
We
And what'll
missed
happen?
one.
We missed one.
Ads
we believe
if
ads don't bring smiles, fists, or tears, they fall on deaf ears.
we did them a little out of order.
So we did them out of order, but we do them in order. Caleb will say, "What do we believe?" and he'll pick somebody. Could be Audrey, could be Kyle, could be.
Well, we're in pro level now, so I don't put the slide up
Yep.
until after they say it because it's like a fun little game we play. Can we do it without looking at the screen?
Yep.
But
Yep.
You don't have to start that way.
And then it just goes around the room, and whatever 6 people were in that line of people, said them out loud, and then we end with kind of a team break, and the call is, hey, guess what?
Guess what?
It's going to be a great week.
Yeah.
Okay, so one last time, we're going to recap all of the facets of holding productive team meetings that are going to improve your culture and make everything better. Number 1 is have strong rituals. Those drive your culture. Those drive all of the things that people can actually sink their teeth into and believe. Number 2, start with personal wins. Number 3, unite around your shared purpose. Number 4, transition into team wins and celebrate all of the things that you've done together. Number 5, learn something new together. Number 6, visualize success, review your financials, and talk about the big rocks and the big things that you're tackling more quarterly and annually. And then number 7 is end with your battle cry. Let your people hear those things said out loud. You can see our company core values in the template that we've put here for you guys to be able to download. And it's just a way to end on the same energy every time.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if it's raining outside. It doesn't matter if it's season of stress, a season of ease, or whatever. It is consistent. And so just like when you look back and you think about those people who were strong character because they did the same things over and over, not unlike the 1% rule. That's the thing we do no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that defines our company character. So I believe that your company has important work to do.
Yeah.
I believe that you have things that have become mundane that deserve to be celebrated. I believe that when you celebrate them, you will get more of the good things that you want. And that is why we are here. That is why we do this podcast every week. That's why we created the mastermind. We are unreasonably excited about helping owner-operated companies get more, do more, have more, and then eventually give more to the communities and places that you serve. That is why we're here every Monday. That's why we'll be back here every Monday, answering your real-life marketing questions, because value number 2 is marketers who can't teach you why
are just a fancy lie.
We'll see you next week. Have a great week.